Hello, everyone. I'm Kira.
And I'm Mika.
And welcome back to another episode of our podcast, Double Feature, episode 5, right?
Yes, we're back for episode 5.
Yep, TGIF. And you guys, we actually post-vacation. Post-vacation. OMG, I said vocation.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
We back, you guys, actually from vacation. Do you want to tell everybody where we were?
Oh, so we went to Vegas. What did we stay there for? Like 4 or 5 days?
It was like 5 days.
5 days.
Yes. Okay, yes. What are your thoughts about Vegas? I said it was so hot.
Yeah, it was fun, but oh my god, I was baking and sauteing.
Oh my gosh, the heat, you guys. And people were telling us that wasn't even as hot as it gets. So we went, it was like, 90s and then a few hundreds.
Why, we got in Thursday night, and Thursday was good. Friday was good. And from Saturday to
Monday,
it was cold red.
It was cold red, you guys. I think on Saturday it was like in the high 90s, 98, 99.
And then it went up to, I think Sunday was like 104.
Just about, yeah. It was so hot, you guys. So I feel like Vegas is definitely a place where we did enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, and I think we went this time because we actually went for a music festival, so we had to come this time, but I think hindsight, the next time we come, we're gonna have to do like February or March.
Oh yes, exactly. So we looked at the weather in Las Vegas for the month of January, February, March. That's more our temps, so 50s, 60s, 70s. So if we were to go back, it would definitely be probably, I feel like I could do Vegas as a 3-day weekend. I feel like a week, I think a week is a bit much for anyone who doesn't maybe gamble.
Yeah, because we're not big drinkers. 2, we don't gamble.
And we're not clubbers.
Yeah, but you know the fun thing that I was so excited that I got to see.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because
it kind of fall in line with our little theme today.
Oh yeah, it's like because everyone knows I'm a big horror buff, so I was able to stop by Nightmare Toys.
Yep.
And so that was really, really fun. I really enjoyed that. So that was like the highlight for me. I got some great merch.
Oh yeah, so no, that was actually a really nice store.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice, and the staff were awesome.
Yeah,
and you gave them a few kind of be out on the lookout, things they should consider actually bringing to the store. Some merch ideas.
Yeah, I don't know what my opinion is worth, but but it was so awesome. I really enjoyed that. So that would be my highlight on top of the music festival.
Yeah, let me talk about the music festival, you guys. Not briefly. I'm not even going to go into detail about it. I'm just going to concur with what you said. I definitely enjoyed the music festival, you guys. We went to the Lovers and Friends music festival.
And it was a 2-day event, but we did a Saturday.
And thank God we did Saturday. If Saturday was 98 in Vegas, Sunday was like 103, 104.
Yeah.
My God.
And for us, people were dropping like flies.
A bit. It was so hot. Thankfully, Mika and I came prepared. We always do our due diligence and read that list. We had our UV hat on.
Yes. We were sitting when needed.
Yes, we were hydrated. But the premise of the festival, which was enjoyable, was early 90s, 2000 musical acts.
Yes.
So we were living our best life in terms of the lineup.
Yes.
I just think it was too daggone hot. Way too hot. We got there from we stayed from 12, maybe 1.
I think we got there around
1 o'clock?
Maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we literally stayed till about 11 p.m.
Yeah,
it was too much.
We didn't even get to see for the.
Oh yeah, we should say, you guys, we were already worried about. So Mika and I, what we should say, we love a good show, a good concert, but our preference is the concert where you give me my ticket and I have a seat.
Yes.
So Kira, your seat is 106. Mika, your seat is 107.
And if I don't have to stand, I don't need to stand.
And it's always preferably indoors. And so, although we love a good festival, that would not be our primary goer.
Yeah, not the best way to view a concert.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were already nervous because, again, not to kind of be a Debbie Downer, but you guys recall a few years ago, the incident that occurred at a festival in Vegas. It was a mass shooting, so many casualties. So we already kind of are on edge in terms of going to a new festival, same technical destination. And the night did turn south, you guys. It did turn south.
I think it was after, all the acts were great.
Everybody was great.
And I think we had just finished TLC.
A TLC, beautiful set.
Yes.
And then we were sitting ready, waiting for Ludacris.
And Usher.
And Little John. And then all of a sudden, you heard, it sounded like horses, didn't it? Galloping horses.
Yeah, the only way we can describe it is if you've seen that film Jumanji.
Oh my gosh.
When the things starts rattling.
That's what it was. And when we looked to Oh my God, the tweet was there, you guys, so I was gonna kind of play like I looked over to my left. And oh my God, it was just like a rush of people. It was so crazy. Our words won't do it justice. That was very scary, but needless to say, we were caught in a stampede. Thankful for our cousin, who has like the best instincts ever, got up and took off. And then again, thankful for our cousin again, because instead of following the crowd, we shifted and took another direction, which was the smart choice.
Yeah, so I think overall, people overreacted. They thought it was somebody with a weapon.
Although I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'll wait for reports to come out. Now they're saying it potentially was.
Yeah, but,
who knows?
But crazy.
Thankful that we were safe. And again, the concert was great, you guys, until it wasn't.
Yeah, it was a vibe.
It was a vibe. It was really good, yes. And thankfully everyone got out. Without incident.
Yes.
That's all that matters. But I did enjoy Vegas, you guys. Shout out to my people who from Vegas. We had a really good time.
We'll definitely be going back, but in the cooler months.
So it's got to be a January, February, or March. Maybe April, too. April was giving me 80s.
Yeah, I could deal with that.
Yeah, but it was just too hot. Okay. But TGIF, you guys. We have our tea on deck. So, you guys, I kept it real basic. So, this is Kira. Today, I'm giving you...
Yeah, Kira, you're being like me today. Very basic.
Very basic. Although, you know what? It's not Lipton. I'm giving everyone a nice Taylor's signature tea. What I mean by basic, you guys, is lemon ginger. So, for me, that's a staple. I shouldn't say basic. It's just a staple flavor you can't go wrong with. Mm-hmm. But it's hot. It's doing what it does for the throat. It's soothing the throat. And you guys, we did a lot of screaming at the concert for the musical X, so excuse our voice.
I know, very raspy.
Very raspy, very hoarse, but we're getting her together.
Yeah, and I just got my Lipton, so I'm keeping it real.
But no tea this time. You trying to do it? Well, light tea.
Light tea.
Yeah, you guys, she literally dipped the spoon in the tea and the sugar, and that's it.
That's it.
As I take a sip. Okay, you guys, so let's jump into what the episode today is going to be about.
Yeah, so we wanted to do, I'm so excited because we're going to do like a horror.
Of course you are.
Edition. And we decided to each do our top 5 choices for what we consider to be underrated horror movies. So Kira's going to do, I guess we'll go back and forth, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what's so interesting to me? I found it so hard to narrow this list down to 5.
I was.
But you know what I like about narrowing it down to 5? It really forces you to be as selective as possible with your choices to the best of your ability. Because I really struggled. I said, ooh, maybe we should have did our top 10.
Yeah, and I switched them off and switched them on at the last minute. Me too. I'd be curious because I really think, I said, I think we might have some of the same, but you confident that you don't think we will?
I feel like we might have maybe 1, no more than 2. I'd be shocked if we do have more than that.
Okay, let's see what we...
I mean, if we do, that's the twin vibe, is it not?
Yep.
Okay. So let's see what we're working with. So you guys, again, we are narrowing down our top 5 underrated horror films. We didn't work on this together. We separately created our list, and this is the first time we're coming together to share it with you guys.
Yeah, so do you want to do like, you're not going to do your whole 5 and I do my 5, or you want to just do 1-1, go back and forth like that?
I think we could do 1-1, go back and forth, right?
Yeah, I'll have you start.
I was just about to say, Mika, you start, because I started last time.
Kira, come on down, no.
Do rock, paper, scissors, Mika, because I feel like you always have me start. Let's go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You go. There we go. Fair. And that's how we're going to do it. So Mika's going to start us off, you guys.
Okay, so the first film that I went with is one of my favorites.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Before we start, are we ranking it 5?
No, I'm just doing, it's not the top 5. It's just like 5.
Okay.
So I'm just going to give you like, go through my list. It's not based on like hierarchy or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so the first film I'm going to pick is The Triangle.
Oh, wow.
With Melissa George.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you seen that
one? I have seen it, but it's been so many years now. I can't tell you. Tell me if I'm wrong. It's been so many years since I've seen it. The only thing I recall is they on a boat in the water going in circles or something.
So the film is directed by Christopher Smith. It came out in 2009. And Melissa George, which people in horror will know Melissa George. Another thing, she starred in quite a bit of things. 30 Days a Night.
Oh, right.
The remake of Amityville Horror.
Oh, true, yep.
But, so she stars in this, and you are correct. It is about it's a group of friends who, get this boat. They're on the water having a good time.
So they think.
Of course, you have some bad weather that ensues, right?
Who ensues?
Yeah, which, ends up putting their boat out of commission, and they end up having to board another ship. So the great thing about this film is because they're kind of in a loop. I'm not sure if you remember
They're
that.
not in the Bermuda Triangle, are they?
No, I don't. No, I don't think they're in the Bermuda Triangle. The main thing about this film is that once they get on a boat, they keep doing this loop over and over again. So it's kind of like this deja vu effect. So everything begins to repeat. So you have this mysterious hooded stranger who starts like killing people, taking people out left and right, but the cycle keeps continuing.
Oh my God, can I say I do not remember this movie at all? That's so bad. Like, yeah. I know I saw it, but when you said Hooded Stranger, I was like, girl, I don't remember no Hooded Stranger.
Yeah, so, and I got the Blu-ray, so you can throw that in and watch it. Yeah, so he keeps taking people out one by one, but it keeps repeating the cycle over and over. And what I love about this film is that it does a great job of blending horror and throwing in some sci-fi elements. I highly recommend it because it's different ways to kind of interpret the film, but I really think it's underrated, very slept on. If you like sci-fi, if you like horror, if you kind of like that Groundhog Day effect, which kind of gives you a way to interpret what may or may not be occurring, then to me this is my recommendation. So my first film is The Triangle.
Okay, very good one. Okay, and see, that wasn't even on my radar.
Okay, see, look at that. And let me know if people have seen this in the comment, The Triangle.
Okay. So the movie that I picked might be controversial in the sense of I consider it to be a horror. A lot of people put it in the category as suspense thriller / horror, but The Ones Below.
Oh, The Ones Below.
Yeah, so...
I think
so The Ones Below came out in 2015. The director was David Farr, and it's kind of, like I said, described as a drama, thriller, suspense, horror. This one was very well done for me, so I'm just going to read the synopsis for people who aren't familiar with it. So it's about a couple expecting their first child. They discover an unnerving difference between themselves and the couple living in the flat below them who are also having a baby. And it stars Clements Posey and David Morrissey. This film was well done for me. And one thing in particular that it made me think about is there's something about not getting to know your neighbors. Do you know what I mean? So like in this one, I'm like, you could have stayed below. Like I don't need to know my neighbors on the side of me, on the left of me, below me. And then the minute my neighbors started acting weird, I would have already moved out. And so this film was very unnerving because I think once they made the introduction with that couple who lived downstairs, all hell broke loose. I'm not going to give too much away, but it was very suspenseful. It kind of had you at the edge of your seat. And the ending, I'm not going to give the ending away, but it pissed me off to no ends. But it's very well done. I think it's underrated, and I don't hear a lot of people talk enough about it.
Okay.
And so I'm going to choose The Ones Below.
Okay, great. And what year did you say? Because I remember watching that one.
Yeah.
With you. What year did that come out?
It came out in 2015.
2015.
Yeah. And what I'll just kind of lead it to is I think there's an exchange between the couples that occurs. It goes south, and then a spiral of events occurs throughout the film.
And I remember, like me and you were watching that movie, and it gave a lot of opportunities for us to be like, okay, we need a U-Haul ASAP.
Oh yeah, I mean, I literally would have said, you know what, I'm done. And you know me, like if I moved into a place on Monday, I don't care if I've been living there for months. If my neighbor, we watch too much ID. So if
a lot of that nightmare.
Yeah, so your nightmare next door, neighbor next door. So the minute I saw any inklings of anything suspicious or scary or creepy, I'm going. And I don't even have to have found a place yet. I'm staying with my mother, my father. I'm packing it up, staying on a friend's couch.
We doing stealth mode in the middle of the night.
There we go. And so a lot of that movie had you feeling so tense because you're like, leave, just go, just get out, leave your stuff. Who cares? Don't pack. I don't need any shirts. I don't need any clothes. Just
get out with the panties in my shirt. I'm out.
Just go. Just get out the door. And so I think the movie just made you really feel like this slow build, and you knew what was gonna happen. It was palpable. It was in the air. It was thick. But you watched it with a bated breath to the very end. But I thought it was very well done for what it was.
Oh yes. Okay, that's a good choice.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so my second one is going to be The Invitation.
Ooh, very nice one.
Yes.
That's actually one of my faves, I will say.
And I hear some people talking about it, but I wanted to throw it in so it can get its praise. Okay, so the film came out in 2015. It was directed by Karen Kusuma, and I always hope I always pronounce her name correct, but she also did one of my favorites as well, Jennifer's Body, which I also think might be another one that's slept on, but
Oh no, I think Jennifer's
It's
Body.
starting to get its praise.
It has a very good cult following.
Yeah,
so.
it's starting to get. I'm starting to hear more about it. But so The Invitation, it stars Logan Marshall. I'll give a brief synopsis. So Logan Marshall stars as Will. Right, he receives an invitation from his ex-wife to attend.
Can I say something though? Would you go to I was
that was the one thing that kind of threw me off.
Am I going to?
But you know what? I think because it seemed like
you know what I will say is a layer, so I understand why he probably would have went. Okay.
Yeah. But I got what you're saying too, especially once you learn their history. That might be a little bit like, why am I accepting it? But I'm thinking, okay, so Will, he receives an invitation to attend a dinner party being thrown by his ex-wife. But I think Will has his new girl, Kira. So maybe that's why he's feeling a little bit more comfortable attending.
Maybe he's in a different place.
Yeah, maybe he's in a different place. So he attends the dinner party with his new girlfriend, Kira, and they also have been invitations sent to a group of friends, which him and his ex-wife all share. So they all attend this dinner party, which, starts to go south pretty quickly. And it seems like the only one who really is understanding that some weird stuff is going on is Will. Mm-hmm. Who props to Will? Because me, sometimes I'm so oblivious to what's going on. Will is just like being mindful of his surroundings at all points, but starts to see that is going south, or that his wife and her new partner and their friends are kind of acting a little bit weird. So I don't want to give anything away.
Not kinda, they were acting
weird.
They
were. But it kind of is a great movie, really well done. I don't think it really picks up towards the maybe towards the middle end of the movie.
I think it keeps it. I would disagree in the sense that I kept my interest from start to finish.
Yeah, it's a slow build. That's what I'm saying. Yep. So the action really starts towards the middle end of the film, but it's a slow build, which I love in horror. But a great film. I highly recommend. So The Invitation, 2015.
Oh no, that's a great one. I actually don't have that on my list, but that's actually a really good choice. I can see why. And again, I don't see too many people speaking about it, but if you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth the watch. And I would agree with you, especially nowadays, it's so important to be mindful of your surroundings to the best of your abilities, and I feel like Will definitely did that from the moment he stepped in the door.
Oh yeah, Will is who you want.
Yeah. He was picking up on stuff where when you watch the scene, I was like, oh, I didn't even notice that. Uh-huh. What is that all about?
But when he noticed it, I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, one scene I will say that was really interesting is
Wait, don't.
I don't want to give it away, but when someone wants to just go to their car.
Oh, yeah.
And you would just think hey, I'm running to my car. Let me go to my car. I'll be right back. You like this, but will you be back? I don't know. Okay. So would you have paid attention to even those type of things? Oh, very good one. Okay. So my next choice is The Collector.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes, so The Collector came out in 2009. It was directed by Marcus Dunstan. And this one is, I feel like, not talked about enough. The synopsis is, desperate to repay his debt to his ex-wife, like an ex-con, he plans a heist to kind of rob his boss's home. And in the midst of him trying to basically commit a crime, he kind of falls right into the collector, committing his own set of crimes, like booby trap in this house, and it's kind of like a ploy of him trying to get out of the booby trap. And I thought it was so well done. I don't think The Collector gets enough praise with regards to just think about this premise. Usually Michael Myers, Jason, your objective is just to get away, to run away. The Collector, I felt like you could not do that. You needed to watch every meticulous step because the way he rigged and booby trapped every single setup in the home.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a Saw, but I think
much better.
Yeah, but you got to be on your game. With The Collector, at some points I'm just like, girl, just take me out because this is a lot. It's too much mental gymnastics going on with these.
Well, it's not for the faint of heart, and reasonably I would have been killed 2 steps in. And so to me, I just think it was a film that's very well done.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily. I enjoyed part 2 as well, but if you had to look at the first one versus the second one, The Collector is a choice that I think.
Yeah, both great movies. Yes, I love that Collector though. It's an awesome choice.
Oh yes, so that would be my choice.
Okay, great. Okay,
I hope I described that film well.
Yeah, I mean, because the purpose is we don't want to give the movies away. You're just giving people a little bit of a taste.
Yeah. So the best way to describe it is, I I guess I want to do it justice.
Well, I think you described it well. You know,
Okay.
you have like you said, someone who's trying to commit a crime.
I think what he's trying to do, he's trying to get by, and he kind of targets his boss's home and unwittingly kind of falls into another criminal, the collector, as well.
Yeah, I think that was a great synopsis.
Okay.
Yeah. The third movie that I picked was The Innkeepers.
Oh yeah, you love the Innkeepers, so I wasn't surprised to hear that.
Oh, okay. I know I'm not the only one, so I know a lot of people in my horror community.
No, what I mean by that is that like you always like note that is very underrated. Yeah. I would agree, so I'm not shocked that it's on your list.
Oh yes. So it's a 2011 film by one of my favorite directors, Ty West, and the film stars Sarah Paxton and the legendary Kelly McGinnis. So what I would say about this film is that it's an underrated slow burn kind of ghost story. I know one thing that a lot of people don't particularly like sometime in horror is that slow build, but for this movie it really has to work because you have to learn who these characters are. You have to kind of get why they're in place for that reason. You have to kind of build a rapport with them before you get to kind of the main event. So a brief synopsis. So you have these two employees who work at the Yankee Peddler Inn, which is going out of business. It's the last weekend of operation. Sarah Paxton plays Claire, one of the two desk clerks, and also her co-worker is Luke. So they are kind of like some, what would you say, like ghost hunters as well, and they're trying to prove whether the ghost of a Madeline O'Malley, who according to legend in the hotel hung herself there, if she's real or not. So it follows them throughout the night, you know, with their EVPs trying to figure out if this legend is real, while also dealing with some guests who are staying at the hotel as well for the last night. And each guest kind of has their own story as well. But it's really, really good. Like I said, a slow build. You have to stay with it. But the payoff to me is really, really good. So if you like a good ghost story with great atmosphere and great vibes, then I would recommend The Innkeepers.
Oh, great. That's actually a good choice. Excellent. I like that one. So the next film I chose was Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, I haven't seen that
one.
one.
No, and I know you haven't seen that one, so it would probably be... that's on the list, so I definitely think that you should watch it. It came out in 2020. It was directed by Sean Linden. And again, I would describe this as thriller, suspense / horror. And again, it's one of those films that kind of, again, tells that tale of what's more dangerous, what's more scary, a beast or a man. And so that's kind of the premise through it. A brief synopsis: it follows a family living in the remote wilderness. They they do live off the grid, even though they're living in modern times in the wilderness, and they make their living as like fur trappers. And so they kind of contemplate a little bit, the mother more so than the husband, with trying to determine for their daughter's sake if they should return back to civilization or if they should stay living off the lands. In the midst of the fur trappings, the business that they do, they're not sure what's causing the issue, this lone wolf or something else. And so the movie really does play with you in regards to, is the family being hunted by beasts or by man? The ending to me of this film is horrible. That's the best way I can describe it. And it will stay with you. So if you hold that the family are fur trapping, they do fur trapping as a business, let that stay with you in terms of what the ending actually will reveal itself to be. But the film is very well done. Again, it's very atmospheric as well. It plays with the mind in terms of nature versus man. And if you haven't seen it, it's like a sleeper hit that not a lot of people talk about.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta watch that.
Sorry about my voice, you guys.
Okay, I gotta watch that one. Hunter x Hunter. I remember you told me about that one. And that's set in modern times?
Yeah, set in modern times, but the family lives off the grid in the wilderness. So they've left modern times for valid reasons. The husband seems to be a little bit more traditional in regards to why they should live the way they do. But yeah, it's very well done. And I don't want to give too much away, but it really does struggle with like who's the real evil at heart, the beast or the man.
Okay, cool. Okay, awesome. Okay, so the fourth film I picked was Frailty.
Oh, great.
Yeah, with it's directed by Bill Paxton and stars Bill Paxton as well, Matthew McConaughey. I'll just do a short synopsis of the film. The film came out in 2001. I would say it's more of a psychological thriller, but the plot focuses on the relationship between two young brothers and their fanatical religious father. The father actually believes that he has been commanded by God to kill demons who are disguised as people. So, great film. I would highly recommend it. It kind of really focuses on the relationships of the two brothers who kind of struggle with what dad believes. One really, has faith in what he's saying, and the other kind of, has a battle between that good and evil that dad is trying to decipher. So, Frailty, 2001. Bill Paxton, also his directorial debut.
Oh, great. That's actually a good choice. Excellent. The next film I chose was Suspiria. And I did the 1977 version, directed by Dario Argento. I always brutalize his name.
Argento.
Thank you. What's it about? So the synopsis is an American newcomer who comes to a prestigious German ballet academy to realize that the school is a front for something sinister amid of a series of grisly murders. What I will say is that I also think the remake, you guys know I don't like remakes, but the remake of this film was actually well done and also, to me, very much underrated. It's visually stunning.
Yes, I didn't see the remake.
Oh, the remake was exceptional. Tilda Swinton, Dakota Fanning, brilliant performances by both. But the 1977 film is also beautiful to watch. It is very eerie. It plays a little bit on the witchcraft element, which I love. And I think if you haven't had an opportunity to kind of witness it, it leaves a lot to be kind of deciphered even after you watch it. So that was the film I chose.
Okay, Suspiria, cool.
Yep.
Okay, and that's a favorite of mine as well. I gotta watch the new one.
Yes, very well done.
Because I heard good things about that one as well. So my last film that I picked would be 2008's Splinter. So the film originally premiered on Sci-Fi, and I know initially I had reservations about that because I said, well, I do love sometimes horror films on Sci-Fi, but it took me a while to watch this one. It's directed by Toby Wilkins and stars Jill Wagner. The film is a really, really great body horror. I love the elements of that. The great thing about this film is, I said, a lot of good kills, a lot of gore if you enjoy that. It follows a couple who are basically doing a little road trip. They get carjacked by an ex-con and his girlfriend. Along the way, you have your standard car accident in these films where they run over some roadkill, which after that, mayhem ensues. They get trapped at this gas station and they're kind of dealing with the aftermath of that. So I don't want to give too much away for it, but away of it. But if you love a good body horror, a good creature feature, then this would be a good recommendation for me. Splinter.
Oh, I actually enjoyed that film. I would definitely say it's underrated, but very well done, especially for sci-fi. I will say that.
It was really, really good.
Sci-fi does have good hits, you guys. It's just very rare, especially modern day.
Yeah, because sometimes I say the sci-fi movies for me are like a little filler. You know what I mean? You could just throw it on to, if you vacuum it, if you clean it. You know what I mean? But once in a while they throw you some gems out there.
Okay, so the last film that I chose, and I thought this was the most underrated film of 2020, and still a lot of people don't actually, to me, give it its praise. And a lot of people still haven't seen it. It's His House.
Oh, that's a good. Okay.
Yes, on Netflix.
And I just recommended that for my Black History Month not too long ago.
Yes.
Okay.
So His House, it debuted in 2020 on Netflix. By Remy Weeks is the director. First feature directorial debut. Mm-hmm. And it stars Wumi Mosaku and Sophie Darusu and Matt Smith. And the film is I'm not going to do it justice. It follows a couple who kind of flees South Sudan. And they do flashbacks throughout the film in regards to the oppression and atrocities they fled South Sudan from. And then they ended up in England, and they actually were presented with a house. So they were asylum seekers, granted asylum in England, and trying to rebuild their lives there now. And they were given, in my opinion, a dilapidated house to live in this estate.
Of course.
So very meager beginnings, if any. And again, trying to make the best of it, right? So very much in their gratitude about the opportunity. But it really plays with the house in terms of it being truly haunted. Or are they haunted more or less by the life that they fled, the actions that they partook in, and then kind of what that means in terms of, do you ever truly escape the past and what you're running from? And so I think it's exceptionally well done in terms of a slow build. It does a really good job with jump scares. And even at moments when you think you're kind of safe, it scares you again.
Yeah, and you recommended for a long time. I didn't watch that one, and you recommended that to me as well, and it was really well done.
Oh yeah, and rightfully so, gets 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is no easy feat. But it's very well done. The acting by both actors is extremely grand to witness if you have the opportunity to. And it's one that a lot of people have not watched, and you have the opportunity to watch it now on Netflix. So His House is my choice.
Oh, that's an awesome choice. Okay, great.
So that was my last one.
Okay, so I think those were all great recommendations, and I would love to hear from people.
Look at that, we had none of the same.
I know. I did think because when you said
Look
that,
at that.
I said I think we're gonna have one or two, but we didn't.
Look at that.
Why?
And I didn't even think we would have one or two. You were adamant that we might have at least one.
I
said if any, maybe one or two, but look at that.
So we gave people 10.
There you go. 10 underrated horror films to watch.
Yeah, and I would love if people in the comments can give us some of their thoughts on some underrated horrors. If you liked Oz, if you've heard of Oz, or throw out some recommendations to us that we might not be aware of.
Yeah, so give your list one more time, and I'll give my list one more time.
Okay, so I'm just going to go all the way down again. So I did, number 1 was The Triangle. Number 2 was The Invitation. Number 3 was The Innkeepers. Number 4 was Frailty, and number 5 was Splinter.
Okay. And for my list, it was The Ones Below at number 1. Number 2 was The Collector. Number 3 was Hunter x Hunter. Number 4 was Suspiria. And number 5 was His House.
Okay, great.
Okay, you guys. So again, like Mika said, please share your thoughts. Have you seen any of the films we mentioned? Did you like any of the films that we mentioned? Are there some gems out there that we should have put on the list? Add to our list. And until next time, you guys, we'll see you then.
Bye.